Welcome. We're still Monday, the 11th of August, and I thought we'd do a wrap up on our comparison trade from last week. We had been looking at ALB, in which we had a forecast that it could make a really big move. So we have placed two trades, a long call and a calendar spread. And we talked about how both of these were debit spreads, so the max loss, the amount we put into each, right? Well, depends on how you manage the trade. For the first few days, and we'll look at a chart in just a moment here. In fact, let's look at the chart right now. Okay, so we were looking at the stock initially back in this area here, and we thought that our MACD might be rolling over. Our stochastic was in the oversold area. We'd had a good sized drop, and there was a reasonable chance we could get a bounce and come up. Well, the bounce didn't happen fast enough, and I was only using trades from last Friday, and so I made some adjustments along the way. I closed out the long call on Wednesday morning before I took off for California. And so we locked in a loss, and I did this because it had paused before its move up. Now, one of the ways to avoid this situation is to go with a longer time frame until expiration. Maybe we'll do something about that in the next video. The calendar, yeah, this was our cost, but when it had dropped, like it had in the beginning, I rolled from the 75 down to the 72. Now, if it had continued to go lower, that might have been a very smart move, but it didn't. As you saw, the stock rallied and came back up. It just did so too late. Now, because I was distracted last week, I didn't even look at the markets on Thursday and Friday, and I was traveling most of the day on Wednesday. So last week I did not place any real trades, just a few practice trades such as this one here that we're talking about. And because I fell asleep at the wheel and the stock turned around and rallied, we got assigned on 100 shares of stock, and the loss result was more than $1,000. So ideally, I would not let myself get in this situation, and I would have talked through more thoroughly that when I did roll this position, I opened myself up to a larger loss, which did happen. More to come, not necessarily on this particular trade, but lots of other interesting things we can work on.